Yeah, so hi to everyone. Um, I will be trying to get the silver in the newest contest, A Code of Ice and Fire. I hope all of you are familiar with the contest because I will just probably go directly to coding. I mean, to those who are not familiar, it's pretty simple. It's a two-player board game, or I guess two-player grid game with complete information. It's a turn-based game, and you win by occupying the enemy headquarters with your units. You can produce units with gold. You get gold for occupying tiles, and you occupy tiles with units. So basically, the more territory you have, the more units you can produce, um, the more territory you can occupy the next turn, and the concept is pretty simple. Um, Yeah, I guess whatever. I'll leave the name unchanged because for some reason it's super glitchy for me. Huh. Also, for whatever reason, I'm not sure if you can hear me right now. Oh, yeah, my computer is dying right now. My computer is absolutely refusing to follow any instructions. Unlucky. Super unlucky. Wait, why is literally nothing happening right now? Okay. Let's see. I hope you can hear me. Could you please increase the volume a little bit? Yes, I can. Hope you can hear me better. Can someone confirm if the volume, if the sounds are okay right now? Okay. So I guess I can get started. So we obviously start from wood 3. In wood 3 we have only level 1 units available. The logic is going to be just super simple. Take as much territory as possible while running towards the enemy base. But I'm still gonna start with just a stable foundation for the whole code for wood 2, wood 1, bronze, and silver maybe. So let's just start by writing some classes that are just gonna help in the future. That will make everything a lot more simple. So everything in this game is bounded to some coordinates. Basically, units will have XY coordinates. Tiles have coordinates. Buildings have coordinates. So everything is a point. So a good starting point would just be to just make a point class. The point is just gonna be super simple. Let's add a representation for the point. What am I doing? So this way it will be easier to debug, and representation also needed for hashing in case I will use points in a set. I need them to be hashable. So this is super easy. I can just return hash self represent. Yeah, something like this. If I'm going to be using sets, I should probably also make them comparable. So equality with other points. I will be returning booleans. Self x equals to other x and self y equals to other y. Same goes to not equal. And if you can see, biochar is highlighting this because point is not defined yet. To be able to be right like this, this is just gonna come in a later version of Python. So what I'm gonna do instead is just future import annotations. That fixes the error. And now we have a good starting point. We have a point. We can print it to see what the point actually is. We can compare 2 points whether they're equal. We can hash them, so that means we can use them in sets and dictionaries. Another really useful thing is calculating distances between 2 points or 2 units or 2 tiles. So I can just add that. So this will give the Manhattan distance between 2 points. And I think that's it. That's as basic as it gets. That's a good starting point. Let's think about, okay, what other classes are going to use points? Well, obviously units. So a class unit is going to inherit from our point. Let's see. I think I'm not forgetting anything. Oh yeah, right, I am. Level. No, I'm misclicking. Level equals level. What else is going to be based on points? Well, obviously the tiles. The tiles of the map are also kind of points. So a tile inheriting from a point. What I'm adding right now is just basically I'm thinking, okay, so what things do I want to know about a tile? Well, I obviously want to know if the tile will have a mine. I want to know what the state of the tile is. In layer stages, I will also want to know whether there are any buildings on that tile. I can't spell. Building. If there is a building, I want to know who the owner of that building is, and I want to know if there are any units standing on that tile. I think that's everything. I obviously will want to update this information. So basically at the start of the turn, I can just reset everything, I guess. And that would mean I reset the state to void, building to -1, owner to -1, and unit to none. But also, once I get the input from the game, I can actually set the accurate information. Basically, I can set that some tile has a mine. In that case, self-mine would be equal to true. I can set that the state is something else. Maybe the tile has been captured by the enemy or by me. Oh yeah, I also want to pass what kind of state that is. Same goes to buildings. And same goes to units. So I can assign some unit to any tile to indicate that that unit is actually standing on that tile. And I think that's all that I need for starters. Basically, I don't really have to write 10,000 lines because I just want something stable. And I think that's enough. So basically, next step would just be to write a game class in which I can store the board state, which has all the logic, all the methods for the logic, all the information, all the input. Yeah, let's try doing that. So basically, class game. I'm not sure how it's going to look like yet, but my goal is going to be something like this. Basically, at the start of the game, we're going to initialize our game. By initializing, we read the input that is given to us only once. If I'm not wrong, those are going to be mines. Yeah, those are mines. So we read the mines, and then comes the game loop. So while true, we can do this. We can do game input, game movement, game training, and then game output. Basically, we can read the input, we can execute all our move commands, we can execute our training logic, and then just output everything and finish the turn. So now that I have an idea how this game class is going to look like in the end, let's try doing exactly that. I guess I should start with just the basic constants. I think, yeah. Also, I guess I can add scoring. I'm going to explain this in a second. But basically, I will always prioritize with my troops tiles that belong to the enemy so that I can overtake them, so that I can take tiles away from opponent and occupy them for myself. Inactive cells are a little bit worse, but still better than something else. Neutral are mediocre, but basically still better than everything else. And the worst ones would be the ones that I already own. So basically, this will be our fitness function in the future. I just wanted to write it down so that I don't forget it. Okay, I guess I can do the input. This is all the boring stuff. I just want to get to the logic as fast as possible. So you can probably see what I'm doing. I'm just initializing all the values. I will be reading the input in a second. Opponent gold. This is everything that I want to have in the constructor of my game class. Am I missing something? I think not. I also want to store all of my units in a separate list so that I can access them easily. Also, I guess I will be storing my output in a list before I print it to the standard output stream. And now I guess I can just create the board, the mines. Oh yeah, the mines are gonna come in the end, but basically the board is needed for the mines because the way I want to do it is simply, I don't care, is simply by reading the input, this is just basically copying from this. Yeah, so this is the mine input, and what I want to do is I want to assign self board yx has mines, has mine. That would mean that the self board is a two-dimensional array of tiles, because in tiles I can set a tile that a tile has a mine. That means I have to fill self board with just tile objects. So let's do that. Let's do exactly that. From numpy import empty. Let's see. I can start by creating an empty array with the type of objects tile. Yeah, I think I can initialize it by assigning everything to a flattened array. This is easier. So tile object with the coordinates map size. So x coordinate is modulo map size, and y coordinate is divided by map size. And we can test it in a second if I didn't mess anything up. So, if I'm not wrong, we have 144 tiles. The x-coordinate is going to be basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up to 11, starting from 0 to 11. Then this will truncate to 1, I1, we repeat with x 0 to 11. And thus we initialize this 2D array with tiles, where every single tile has different xy coordinates. I think this should work. I guess I can test it once I'm done with everything. Okay, so what else do I need? I said I want to have game input, game movement, movement, game training, and game output. Let's see. Okay, so game input. Game movement. Game training. Training? Yeah, training. And game output. So input and output is something super basic that, yeah, I can just add it right now. Basically, let's copy everything from here. Let's paste it here. And by looking at how the input looks like, I can just rewrite it nicely. Self gold is integer input. Why is this highlighted? Oh yeah, because this makes no sense. Whatever. I can just... Voila. Okay, so self income is also the same. I can just copy that. Self opponent gold, same thing. Once again, self opponent income, also same. What else do I need? I guess I can reset all the arrays from all the lists from last turn and all of the tiles because I want to update them with the new information. So let's see. Output list blank. My units list blank. Opponents units definitely blank, and all the tiles in self board flatten. I'm just gonna reset them. Yeah, I defined that, I think. Yeah, I did. So this way, before reading input, we reset all the values, and now I can just set them with the new information that we are provided every turn. So let's try that. For how does this look like? Okay, fair enough. For x and state, in enumerate input self board yx, we are going to set the state to that state. So this is reading all these states. Buildings, right? Next, yeah, buildings. So next step is buildings. In range input owner building type XY. I'm just going to copy that because I'm lazy. Let's set the corresponding tile set building to that building type and that owner. Also, if you noticed, I previously defined my headquarters and opponent headquarters. So I think this would be a good point to actually set those values not to none, but to the actual values. So basically we just wait until the building type is equal to 0 and the owner is equal to 0. That would be my headquarters. And in the other case, where the owner is 1, that would be the opponent headquarters. Okay. Why did you expect integer and got string? Right, because I didn't write integer. Okay, so this looks fairly good. What are we missing? Obviously, the units. So I'm just gonna copy this and do the absolutely same thing for units. For this in range int input, let's see, owner unit ID, I think level XY. Paste that. Now we can set board YX, set unit, and we create a new unit object with all the corresponding information. Also, since I have a list for my units and opponent units, I can just add them to the corresponding lists. Because that will make it way easier later to just iterate through all my units and then all enemy units because they will be separated. So yeah, let's do that. My units append self board yx unit. Else opponent units. This looks good. So let's see. What do we have? What do we have right now? We have a point class. We have a unit class that is based on a point class. We have a tile class for all the tiles on the map. This is our game class. We initialize, read the input. At the start of every turn, we read the input. We do the movement logic, we do the training logic, and then obviously we print the game output. This is super basic. We can just do something like self output, then we print. Basically, if there's a single message in the output list, then we just join all of the messages with a semicolon and print. If there isn't, we don't want to time out, we just print wait. So this is good enough. Now we have something relatively basic. That we can work with, and now comes the logic. So let's play my code. Let's see if there are no syntax errors. Nope, looks good. Looks good. So, logic. I think for logic, I'm missing one more important thing. And that thing is calculating neighbors of a tile. So I'm just gonna add that. Basically, given a point, I want to know all of the neighboring points of that point. Sounds pretty basic. So why is there so much stuff highlighted? Okay. Oh yeah, so this doesn't exist yet. Okay, so now this exists. Output is going to be the list that will contain all of the neighboring tiles. Let's create contenders. So basically point in point x plus 1 point y point x minus 1 point y point x point y plus 1 point x and point y minus 1. Okay, so that looks good. Let's check if all of the points are valid. Also, let's check if the points... Why not cache the tile neighbors in the tile class? Let's think. I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. Oh, I get it. Basically, Yeah, the thing that you're saying is to just store all of the neighbors inside the tile object or the tile class, because they are not going to change. And you're absolutely right. But I don't think there's a difference. Basically, performance difference, yes, what you're suggesting is probably faster, but I don't think it matters because I mean we're just doing the most basic thing. But yeah, you're right. What you suggested is actually the better way to do it. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, let's check that if the point is real, let's check that the point is not void. And if it isn't, then we just append that tile to the output. Okay, so now we have a function that returns all the neighbors of a point or a unit or a tile, because they all inherit from a point, so it doesn't matter. And now I guess we can do some super basic movement and training. Well, training can be done really easily. Basically, I can check all of the tiles that are all of the neighboring tiles of tiles that I have occupied already. Why is this red? That's why. So all of the neighboring tiles. Let's show with an example. Basically those are the blue ones. I can just find all of the tiles next to the blue ones, and those will be the potential targets for my training. I think that's super easy to implement and pretty effective, because the training also automatically occupies one new cell. So that's nice. Yeah, let's try that. Let's find all of the neighboring tiles first. So that would be something like neighbor list, whatever. And I just get self neighbors of a tile for each tile in board flatten if and only if I own that tile. So if I own that tile, that means I can summon a unit next to it. So I will want to have all of the neighbors. Now, right now I will have neighbors multiple times, multiple copies of the same tile. I want to get rid of those. That's exactly why my points are hashable, so that I can do something like tile for tile list in neighbor list for tile in tile list. If you want to understand what just happened here, basically this is a list of lists, because get neighbors returns a list of tiles. So this is a list of lists. And right now I'm just flattening it and making it one list of tiles. And then I'm converting it to a set, so that each tile is only once there. And now I can filter some useless tiles out. For example, the ones that I already own. I don't want to spawn a unit on a tile that I already own. That's a little bit pointless. So I can do something like T for T in tiles if, I don't know, T state, not in something like this. And I don't know. I probably can't. Or I probably shouldn't try to spawn a unit on a tile if it already has a unit on it. So basically, and T unit is none. In both cases, basically, if unit is none and state is not one of those three, then I can totally spawn a new unit there. So I guess last thing would just be selecting the best ones, the best tiles to spawn units on. And that can be just done by sorting. So sorted tiles. And how am I going to sort it? Well, let's think. Obviously distance is important. I want to spawn closer to the enemy headquarters, so tile distance self opponent headquarters. But what's more important is that I actually prioritize taking enemy territory instead of taking neutral territory, which is exactly why I created this dictionary. Basically, I prioritize tiles that enemy has instead of taking something that is neutral. So I can sort by game scoring tile state. And that will sort all the tiles from the best to the worst for spawning a unit. So what I can do is just I can blow all of my money on units until I have no money left, or until I have no tiles remaining. So basically, while tiles and self gold more equal 10, I can just tiles pop. Whoops. And I can just append a message to the output. Train 1 coordinates. The coordinates are going to be tile X, tile Y. And I want to update my gold, of course. And I think that's good enough. I don't think I need something more complicated for wood 3. I mean, for wood 3, I could have done something a lot more basic, but this is going to work even in wood 2 and maybe even in wood 1. So let's do some basic movement. Basically, I want to know which troops, which units have not moved yet. So let's just make a list of units that have not moved yet. I will sort them, and I will tell you in a second why. So basically, my units, key, self, opponent, headquarters, distance. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to move the units that are closer to the enemy base. This way, I will be moving them in a manner that minimizes blocking. Basically, if I did it the other way around, there's a chance that the unit would not be able to move towards the enemy base because there's already a unit standing in its path. If I move the ones closest to the opponent headquarters, chances are that the unit will move towards the headquarters and free up some space for the units behind him. So that's why I want to sort them. And, well, as long as there are some unmoved units, I'm just going to do some moving logic. I'm just going to pick one unit. Now, let me think. Pop or pop 0? Sorted, sorted, sorted. Basically, furthest distance in the back. So closest. So pop 0, right? Right. Okay, so I picked a unit and I want to move it. I want to move it somewhere. I don't know where yet. I could check what are the options. So let's see. I want to check what are the options. So I go for tile in self get neighbors of that unit. So now I have all of the neighboring tiles of that unit. I could also add the tile that I'm standing on right now, because maybe I don't even want to move. Maybe I just want to stay where I am. So let's add that too. And I want to sort them. I want to sort them from best to worst. But how am I going to sort them? Let's think about it. Lambda lambda tile. So first of all, I can just reuse this one. I want my unit to move towards a tile that is occupied by an enemy, because, well, I want to steal territory from my enemy. It makes sense, right? So it would make sense to write something like game scoring tile state. And then I can just sort them by distance. Basically, in the end, I still want to move towards the enemy base. So moving in a tile that gets me closer to the enemy base is more beneficial for me. So tile distance self opponent headquarters, something like that. Okay, so now I have a sorted list of my options. I just have to choose one that is valid, because just because I have sorted them and just because I have picked neighbors, it doesn't mean that I can actually move there. So let's see. For a possible tile in possible, well, what do I even have to check? I have to check if there's no one standing in there. And wait. No. I have to check if there's no one standing in there, or if there is if there is someone standing on that tile, it could be that that unit is actually me. Because remember, I can stay on my own tile, and if I can stay on my own tile, that means there's a unit standing there already, but I don't care about that, because if that unit is me, then that's perfectly fine. So if that works, then I can just move. And moving would mean we set the new tile. Now the unit is there. In the board, we want to update the tile that the tile where I was previously standing has nothing in it. And I want to update the unit information that the unit has changed the coordinates. And obviously I want to send a message, so I can just append a move message to the output list. Unit ID, possible tile X and possible tile Y. And if I move the unit, then I don't have to check any other possible tiles. I can just break. Oh god. Okay, so that's actually a lot more than I expected, but I think that's going to be enough. Let's just see if that works, and let's try debugging if it doesn't. So let's copy that. Actually, I could just do something like upload and change local file to stream. Okay. So this is my code, right? No, it isn't. That's not exactly my code. I mean, that is my code, but that's my main code. Change local file, please. Stream. And now I can do from local file to CodinGame. Perfect. Let's try if that works. It's probably going to break, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Okay, so let's see how it plays. Yeah, this looks pretty decent. I mean, it's probably an overkill for wood 3, but if it gets us to wood 2, maybe we can win against wood 2 boss without changing anything. So yeah, this dude just got overrun. This is actually beautiful. Okay, so let's submit that. Also, this would be a good time to ask questions because submit times are probably long. So I'm just going to sit here for the next like 20 minutes and stare at the screen without doing anything. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now. Especially about the code, in case you don't understand something, I can try explaining it. Or maybe some ideas, maybe something that could be improved. Also, this is awfully slow. Actually. Huh. Wait, 20%. Okay, maybe it's not that slow. It's still probably gonna take a while in bronze and in silver. But whatever. Let's see what happens in wood 2. In wood 2 you can train army units of level 2 and 3. Okay. I guess I can just start upgrading the training function so that it can spawn units of level 3 and 2. I'm not sure if it's necessary. Probably not. Yeah, let's just chill. Not sure how to go about the pathfinding, which order to sort when I have lots of units. The paths overlap a lot. Huh. That's a good question. The question I want to ask you is, are you sure that you want pathfinding? Basically, I'm pretty sure that you can reach a really high rank without doing any form of pathfinding for the movement. So as long as the rest of your code is doing fine, it doesn't matter if some paths overlap of your pathfinding. I think it doesn't make such a big difference because I'm actually really interested to see how high this code is going to get me, because I'm still gonna try keeping everything as simple as possible. So I'm kind of interested to see how high can you get without implementing any form of pathfinding or complicated algorithms. So let's see. Battles in progress, 53%. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Let's see. So wood 2 is going to give us units of level 2 and 3, and in Wood 1, we can build mines, which are luckily for us absolutely useless. So chances are, if we get from Wood 2 to Wood 1, we are going to get from Wood 1 to Bronze, because, well, mines don't really change anything. So I'm pretty sure if our bot can beat Wood 2 bots and boss, I'm pretty sure it can also beat Wood 1, but we're going to see. Let's watch some games. Oh god. This is not even fair. Yeah, I'm 5 points ahead of boss. Okay, so I'm around 25% left. Until we get to the level 2 and 3 units. Which honestly should not change anything. Because I mean the expansion is still like pretty strong. Like this way of expanding is going to be strong in wood. This way of expanding is going to be strong in bronze and probably in silver too. So I don't think that level 2 and level 3 units are going to be able to stop this. Jesus Christ, it's taking actually forever. Do you use Python while competing in contests? Yes, I do. Most of the time, Python is... With Python, you can just basically write a lot of functionality with not a lot of code. Basically, you don't have to sit 5 hours re-implementing things from scratch just so you can get to the logic part. Basically, all of the classes, all of the input, representations, hashing, equality between units, between tiles. This is so simple to do in Python if you were to compare it to, let's say, C++. Same thing with pointers. You don't even know that they're there, but Python is actually using pointers for all objects. So basically, let's see, can I find an example? Basically, when I write possible tile dot unit equals to a unit, dot units is actually a pointer that is pointing to this object. So basically, in Python, a lot of the complicated stuff that will introduce a lot of bugs in C++, let's say, is hidden, and it's just so much faster to write code. So yeah, I love using Python while competing, and we just got promoted to Wood 2. Let's see. Let's see how strong we are in Wood 2. I am betting on 10 out of 10 wins, because I see no reason why we should lose. And that is beautiful. So yeah, as I said, just because they have level 2 units, oh, they time out, nice. Just because they have level 2 units does not mean that they can stop this expansion. Yeah, it's just so much better. Okay, so while those battles are in progress, let's see what we can do about the fact that we can train level 2 and level 3 units. Let's see. So training, we could rework our training so that, yeah, let's do that. Let's rewrite this because it's a little bit messy. I'm still gonna keep the way this works. Basically, I'm still gonna check at all of the neighbors. And I'm still gonna remove all the duplicates. I am still gonna filter out all the invalid states, but now, instead of checking that there is no unit standing on there, I want to check that there's either no unit standing on there, or if there is a unit standing, I want that unit to be an enemy unit, because in that case, I can kill that unit by spawning a higher level troop on top of that. So this looks good. So yeah, let's add logic to train level 2 and level 3 troops for tile and tiles. Basically, what are we gonna do? We pick a tile and we check if there is a unit standing on that tile. So if there is a unit, we check if the level of the unit is 1, and we obviously check if we have enough gold. If we do, well, that's easy then. We train a level 2 troop, we subtract 20 gold, and from tiles, we remove that tile. And that's it. What if the unit level is not 1? What if the level unit is 2 or 3? Well, same goes. We check if we have enough gold. And we spawn a level 3 unit on that unit. We subtract 30 gold, and we remove that tile. Okay, what if there is no unit on that tile? Well, that's simple. Then we just do this. Tiles, remove, tile, break. Okay, so how does this work? We check if there are any tiles, and we check if we have enough gold. We try spawning units on all of those tiles. Basically, we iterate through all of the tiles from the best, because they're all sorted from the best to the worst. And if we find something, we do that, we restart from scratch. What if we find nothing? Well, then we just break away from the while loop, because we don't want to be stuck in an infinite loop. So, also for those of you who are not familiar with how Python works, in Python you can write for else, basically. Basically, this is completely valid in Python. What this does is you iterate through the for loop, and if the for loop finishes, you execute else. However, if at some point you break out of the loop, else does not execute. So that means for this break, to break the while loop, why to remove the tile? Because if we spawn a unit on a tile, that means I don't want to check that tile ever again. Basically, a tile is a potential target for me to spawn my unit. If I train a unit on that tile, I don't want to have that tile anymore. Basically, I took care of that tile, I spent money for it, I appended a command. I don't want to see that tile. And as long as I have potential targets, this loop will keep on going. If none of the targets are valid, the for loop will finish, else will trigger, break the while loop, and yeah. No infinite loops, everything should be working. Okay, so this is a small improvement to the training. Let's see how the battles are going. I am in the first place. Okay, who wants to bet how many games I have lost? I'm betting on 1. Okay, that was pessimistic. 0. I am a solid 6 points ahead. And actually 10 points ahead of the boss, which is pretty nice. Okay, so let's update my code. So this is the updated code. I don't want to submit it right now because the time it takes to process all the battles, it's yeah, I don't want to start this from 0. There should be like just a random idea. There should be some threshold of points. For example, 3 points. Once you reach 3 points above the boss, there should appear a button that says auto-promote me, or something like that, or finish my battles. How come it's so slow? Well, welcome to CodinGame, where servers start dying in the middle of the week, because when a lot of users are submitting their code, the servers start burning, which makes everything go a lot slower than it should go. And trust me, it's gonna be a lot worse in Bronze, because in Bronze you're going to play 2 games per player. So basically, instead of 34 battles, there would be 68. You missed the expansion part. I'm currently in Bronze, but it could help. Try playing against your submission in the arena. Do you mean my submission as in... Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you mean. Code in arena, let's see. Play my code. Well, it's not really the user's fault, it's just that... Okay, so my IDE code wins against my arena code, obviously. It makes sense. Because the expansion is the same, but I'm just killing enemy units with my level 2 units, and my arena bot is not doing that. Okay, so back to the point, it's user's fault. It's not really user's fault, it's just that I'm pretty sure the servers are not optimized for such loads, and just because CodinGame has a lot of users, it doesn't mean that it's users' fault that the servers are lagging. It's just basically they're not really ready. Oh, look at this. I lost 2 games. Beautiful. I'm losing against... Okay. A level 4 guy. Yeah, I think this is also a secondary account of someone. Or maybe not. But yeah, this is also clean. The way I get destroyed in this game. I'm pretty sure I would be able to beat him consistently with the upgraded code, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm so far ahead. Stream sniped, yeah. Okay, so 17% to go. Then we unlock. What do we unlock then? Wait, what am I doing? Alright. Wood 1, mines. Absolutely useless. I'm not even going to submit this code, because I just want to see if the Wood 3 expansion can beat Wood 1 bots. I'm pretty confident it can. Also, I was just surpassed by this guy. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I can add something to the movement that can help me in, let's say, bronze. Well, I guess I should just wait and see how it goes in Wood 1. I'm pretty confident that with this win rate in Wood 2, I'm still gonna pass Wood 1 without submitting any changes. Show his strat. I mean, his strat is pretty basic. I didn't see anything super special. So yeah, his strat is just... I wouldn't say his strategy is better. It's different. It could be that it's stronger against my strategy. I'm not sure if it's actually better. Because if you notice, I'm always winning in income. Because my expansion is faster than his. And even now, I still have a lot more gold than he does. So I mean, there's no cutting off logic. He's just basically expanding. Yeah, if there was cut off logic, there could have been way better plays for him. Basically, check this out. He has 82 gold. All he has to do is place one unit down here, and he cuts off all of the left side, which he doesn't. So he's just expanding the same way I am. Yeah, it's really similar to what I'm doing. I can only hope that some coding game employee jumps into the stream and swings his magic wand to help me get out of wood 1 or bronze, because I have a feeling it's going to take forever. We're sitting at 4% for like 5 minutes now. Finally. Okay, so 20 seconds until we find out how our bot performs in Wood 1. Remember, this is still the Wood 3 logic. I'm not going to submit my upgraded training yet, because I don't think we need it. I just want to see how the... Will the red player has an advantage of playing the first move? Not really. And I can tell you why. Let's play. So I can show you what I mean. So, I don't know if you have noticed, but the blue player starts with an extra tile. So what does that mean? While the red player can summon both of his units next to his headquarters, the blue player can summon them one tile ahead. So technically it's same as the blue player starting first. Basically, red player actually starts first, but is still at a slight disadvantage. So it's like really hard to say. I think there's no noticeable advantage for the red player. There could be an advantage even for the blue player, but I'm not sure. I think it's pretty balanced. I know that without this tile, the red player would definitely have a massive advantage. But just because this tile, this extra tile exists, this extra 1 income, and the fact that I can summon my troops a little bit further away, basically, okay, this bot is dumb, but I could summon them here and here. So yeah, that actually allows me to have more income, more troops, and just be a little bit ahead of red, even though he starts first. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think red has an advantage. Also, I'm in the 3rd place. How beautiful is that? Okay, so I have not lost a single game yet. This is the Wood 3 bot. So I'm pretty confident that if we upgrade our movement logic, we can easily beat the wood boss, the bronze boss, and get to silver. So while those games are playing, let's do exactly that. Let's do exactly that and upgrade our movement logic. Now, a good question. How do I even want to update it? I'm going to try doing something a little bit fancy, and I'm going to try doing movement with recursion. Basically, if one unit tries moving on a tile where another unit is already standing, I will immediately switch to the unit that is occupying my target cell and move that unit first, then go back to my first unit and move that unit to a cell that is now free. So if that works, we can get rid of a lot of blocking, and that could potentially help us beat people in bronze. So let's try doing that. So recursion. We need a function that is going to call itself. Let's do something like def move unit unit. It's going to return a boolean. Let's put this in the function. What else do I want to do? I guess I can put this in the function as well. And I guess for all of the units that are unmoved, I'm just gonna call the function. Let's see. So first thing that I have already noticed that is pretty bad is that I consider all of the neighbors. I don't have to. I don't have to do that. The neighbors that I can or should consider are the ones that are leading me to the enemy headquarters, because I don't really want to go backwards. So tile distance self opponent headquarters is less than unit distance self opponent headquarters. So what this means is that I will take tiles that get me closer to the opponent headquarters than I currently am. The only case where I don't want to go towards the enemy headquarters and where I want to go backwards is if I want to occupy a tile. But if you only consider forward tiles, what if you get flanked? Well, I mean, I can still stay in the place where I am. Basically, this is still there. Holding my ground and just staying where I was last turn is still an option. The only thing that I'm removing is just going backwards pointlessly. I don't even have to consider that. There's not really ever a case where you would want to go backwards. If you're not getting anything out of that. Whatever. So the point is tile state. If the tile state is something that I have not occupied yet, then I can go backwards. Then that's fine. That's fine. If I'm occupying a new cell, that's fine. Talking about sorting, I could also consider one extra thing that will help me avoid collisions, or basically intersections of the path and just one unit blocking the other unit. So let me write that down first. So what just happened? I want to calculate the sum of all neighbors of all my units that are neighboring my target. If there is more than one unit, that means there are multiple units that could potentially want to go there. And that's why I don't want to target that cell. That's why this will evaluate to true and will get sorted to the end of the list. Basically, 1 is larger than 0, and we sort from lowest to largest. So that means, first of all, I will prioritize the cells that I know 100% that that unit is the only one unit that can go there. And that's perfect. Because that means there will be no intersections, no blocking. I'm not stealing a tile from another unit. I'm not blocking another unit with that movement. This is potentially helpful. So now that we have that, I can also check if I could potentially kill a unit by moving into a tile. Readable code. Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's pretty readable. I mean, besides this, it's pretty readable. Yeah, I think I could totally expand this in like, okay, let's people are unhappy with unreadable code. Let's make the code readable. So first of all, I want to have all the tiles in neighbors, right? This plus that. So let's make this readable. I mean, for people saying that just make it work or something, I think you're forgetting the fact that we have only 30% of battles. We are above the boss, so we're not really in a hurry, and we still have a lot of time to just sit here and do nothing. So might as well just write readable code. I mean, I'm all up for some readable code. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I was above the boss with the first like 15 games because like the first 15 games I just won everything. Like right now I'm 7 points above the boss, so like this is going to be pretty easy. Okay, let me think. How can I make this readable? So I want to have a tile for tile in this. Okay. So no, I know how I can do this. Okay, so possible. I have just the right idea how to make this readable. For tile in self get neighbors unit, wait, is this readable? I'm not even sure. Tile distance self opponent headquarters less than unit distance self opponent headquarters. Yikes, this still doesn't fit in one line. Huh. Okay, you know what? Let's stick to unreadable code because this is not this is just not useful. Okay, back to unreadable code we go. Where was I? Oh yeah, checking. I check right now if unit is none. Basically, if a tile has no unit or that unit is me. Well, another option could be that the unit is an enemy unit. Oh, add mines. Absolutely not. Mines are super useless. If you play some games against the top players in Silver, you will notice really quickly that no one is using mines because they're just pretty much waste of money. No one has found a good use for mines yet. So as you can see from Wood 1, mines were added here, nothing changes. Yeah, even in Silver, no one is really using mines. Mines change nothing. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I am going to reach Silver without any problems, without using any mines, without using towers, without using cutting. There's so much more simple stuff to implement. Okay, 45%. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, so back to where I was for the third time. I can check if the tile has an enemy unit. Towers are useful. You are correct, but my point is that you do not need towers to get the silver. And as I said at the beginning of the stream, I will try to keep my code as simple as possible. Basically, avoid some big logic with towers, simulating for best tower spots, searching, cutting. I'm just gonna try to avoid all of that. And I just want to see how it goes. So let's just see if it's possible. Basically, if we find out that it's possible to reach silver without any towers, without any cutting, that's even better because then you know by adding towers you're going to climb even higher. You know that by adding towers you will potentially reach gold or even legend. So the less stuff I add on stream, the more stuff you can add offline and climb even higher. So, okay. Is there an enemy unit on this tile? Possible tile unit owner 1. And I obviously have to check if unit level is higher than possible tile unit level. So basically level 2 can stomp on level 1, level 3... Oh yeah, this is not going to work with level 3. Okay, or unit... Nah, whatever, it's not gonna make a big difference. Okay, let's see. Possible unit is going to be set to unit. This can be kept. This can be kept. Instead of popping, we now call this. So we have to remove the unit manually. So unmoved, remove unit. And instead of breaking, we are going to return true because this is a function. This is a function in a method. which you don't really see often, but it's a good practice to write a function inside a method if that method is going to be the only method that is going to use that function. So let's see. If I can actually move to that spot. However, what if I cannot? What if possible tile unit owner is my unit and possible tile in unmoved and possible tile unit is not my unit? So, what is happening in here? This if is just asking, am I moving on top of another unit that I own that I haven't moved yet this turn? If that's the case, then I can try moving that unit first. So basically move possible tile unit. And if that unit returns true, that means I successfully moved that unit, and I can just copy paste this code. So basically recursion from this function, I call the function itself, and I return true if a successful move has been made. Well, what if no successful moves have been made? Then, quite simple, unmoved, remove unit, and return false. I think that's enough. So let's recap. We try moving to the best tile possible. If there's already my unit standing there, I try moving that unit first. Same can happen to that unit. That unit can try to move somewhere else. Until one unit actually moves, then I return true. If true is returned, then I move that unit. I return true, and I repeat this for every single unit that has not been moved yet. Let's see, how are the battles going? 67%. This guy is still above me, and I am super interested to see whether I can beat him consistently with this new upgraded moving logic, which I am going to submit the moment we hit bronze. So yeah, a couple of defeats in Wood 1, but knowing the fact that this is still the Wood 3 bot, it's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. Also, I have planned a small meeting in 15 minutes, so I have to hope that the bot will reach successfully silver without any changes, because once I see that it surpasses the boss, I'm just going to finish the stream, because I'm pretty sure this bot is going to be strong enough. And just waiting and looking at the last battles is probably not going to change anything, because it takes actually way too long. CodinGame, please. Okay, 25% more battles. And then we can go with the full power. Let's synchronize the code real quick. Force upload. Oh yeah, let's try this against our fella. This guy. Play my code. Let's hope it works, because if it doesn't, that would be pretty sad. Okay, so I am winning. I am winning. 2 speed, okay. Let's see. Yeah, the expansion is super smooth. And I am successfully killing all of his units. And there's pretty much nothing he can do about it. Yep. Okay, 85%. Come on, CodinGame. Do you have any questions or suggestions for the bot? I'm hoping that all the steps that I did, I explained well enough. But if you have any questions, I can easily go through everything again, because we have a lot of time. Whoa, I lost the game against boss. What happened here? Okay. Okay. I have 2000 gold. Should I go straight for chain kills or try to do cutoffs? I think chain kill is something that can be implemented really, really easily. So I think it would be smart to start with the chain kill. And then once that is done, you can start working on cutoff and see if it works or it doesn't. Basically, chain kill is something that you can immediately see the result, and you can see whether it works or not. With the cutoffs, it's a little bit more random. There's always a better cutoff hidden somewhere. It's really hard to always get the perfect cutoff, so it's really hard to measure the improvement. If you improve a small piece of your code, it's really hard to say whether that made a big impact or not. So yeah, chain kills. Chain kills are the things to start with. Okay, so 3% left. And that 3% is taking a surprisingly long time to finish. There we go, 20 seconds. Okay, so are you guys ready to submit our improved movement and improved training? Let's see if it's good enough for bronze. Success. Let's submit the code. And let's see how it performs. That is beautiful, except this. Why? Why? Why would you do this to me? Out of 40 games. This one game. Why? Oh well. The conclusion is that this bot is indeed good enough for bronze and will eventually hit silver. So since I set it to myself for the stream to be exactly 2 hours long, I'm going to say that my goal of 2 hour silver was achieved, besides the fact that it's going to take a long time to actually get there. What would be an optimized way to represent the board to do lots of simulations? Well, first things first, you want to do it in C++, not in Python. Just a warning, don't do it in Python. Python is not the right tool for that. Python is extremely slow. But if you're working with C++, I'm pretty sure bitboard could be the right way to encode the board. I'm pretty sure by shifting bits you can check if a part of the map is cut off. Yeah, but I think bitboards are the way to go. Also, in 46 games, I have still lost only one, so I think it's going to go pretty well. Okay, so with that being said, I am not going to stop the stream. If you want to watch the stream for the battles, feel free to do that. Let's see, can I... Heh, I can't do that. Or can I? Can I select... Oh well, whatever. So yeah, I am in the first place in bronze right now after 50 games. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Feel free to hit me up with any questions if you have. The code will not be published to avoid people just copying and pasting it, but feel free to steal all of the ideas if you can re-implement them in your code. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. As I said, stream will remain online in case you want to watch the games and the progress. So yeah, see ya.